Welcome to
The Dark Files. I'm Emily Sweaters.
And I'm Kasie Cardigan.
And this week, I'm going to be opening a dark file on...
Drum roll!
The McRib!
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, but before we get started... Oh, wait.
Sorry.
I need to do that. Crack that claw! I'm going to work on it. I started to work on a sound thing for it.
Oh,
okay, I have
cool.
a couple of disclaimers. One, we're now in my house today.
Yes.
So my roommate Jackie might step in to say hi. She's in the kitchen cooking. And also my friend Brooke listened last week because last week I mentioned my friend Dana and I were talking about the podcast Morbid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Brooke texted me and said, I'm the one that listens to Morbid. So I told her I would give her a shout out that Brooke is the one that listens to Morbid, and apparently it's a very good podcast if anybody does want to listen to it.
Cool.
People should always listen to ours first. Okay, those are my disclaimers.
Yeah. All right. So
All right, I'm ready.
Are we ready to jump into the McRib?
I have been telling people that you're doing this topic, and I'm like, they're like, what about the McRib? I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know.
So, Kasie, have you ever had a McRib?
No, I've heard lots about it, and I feel like I see lots of commercials.
Yeah.
Back when, when they're out.
Right. So I have had a McRib. I actually wanted to eat one while we did this episode and give you guys some McRib ASMR.
That should be our new YouTube. McRib ASMR.
Yes. However, they're not selling the McRib currently. So, sorry. Instead, I'm drinking a White Claw.
Crack that claw.
So, the McRib is a barbecue-flavored pork sandwich sold periodically by the fast food chain McDonald's.
Okay.
And so it's like a pork sandwich, like a pork patty, and it's got barbecue sauce on it, pickles, and onions. So definitely not something you would probably eat.
No, I'm not a big barbecue.
Yeah.
I do like some pulled pork barbecue, though.
This is definitely different.
Okay. Okay. Never mind, forget I said that.
I don't love them because they have a lot of barbecue sauce on them, which I don't totally love, but...
Wait, you don't even like the McRib?
It's decent. It's not like the first thing I would order.
No, I would order, if McDonald's, if you're listening to me, I would like you to please bring back the grilled chicken snack wraps.
I know, those were awesome.
They took them off the menu at the start of quarantine.
Did they really?
Yes. Because my sister and I would try to go get them because that's what I like to eat because I don't love their buttermilk chicken sandwich and their burgers just aren't filling enough. I like the crispy chicken snap wrap with just cheese.
Yeah. Just cheese, huh?
Yeah.
No ranch?
No, I don't like ranch.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that about
Only unless it's in buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah.
Or some other dip.
So, hearkening back to last week's episode, on Saturday night, I had some friends over and we watched Home.
Yes. For those that don't remember, that was the X-Files episode that is about incest and scary AF.
And so it was Tanner, my sister, and her boyfriend Kyle.
Okay.
And we were watching it, and they were saying that Kyle was saying that when he was growing up, there was like this family at his church that were kind of like doofy, and his dad would always call them the Peacocks, which is like...
Is that the family's name?
Of the family.
Oh my gosh!
So I just thought that was funny.
That is kind of funny. He was giving a reference to the X-Files.
He was like, I just realized what my dad's been saying all
the whole time. Man, his dad's cool. Okay, anyway, so it's a barbecue pork sandwich. Barbecue
flavored pork sandwich. So I'm going to give you a little bit of history behind the McRib.
I'm ready.
So in the 1980s and the late 70s, there was growing health concerns about the consumption of red meat. So, like, the USDA and, health people, doctors were coming out saying that eating too much red meat was unhealthy. And so the majority of McDonald's sales were hamburgers.
Yeah, hamburgers.
And so they, were, revamping their menu to try to, fit more with what people were saying was healthy and not healthy. And so they first...
Kind of get on that health kick.
Yes.
Okay.
They first tried to make the filet of fish their, sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Their replacement sandwich for their burgers, but it kind of flopped because
really,
because outside of Lent, right?
Oh, I guess that makes sense. I feel like it's a big one around Lent.
Fish,
Yeah, I don't order fish. I don't like fish.
I like fish. But again, like if I'm at McDonald's, I'm not ordering a filet of fish.
Fair.
I'm ordering 10-piece nugs with honey mustard.
Sorry, wait. Oh, Jackie was throwing something away. Sorry, I thought she was giving a shout out to the filet of fish, but she wasn't. Okay, anyway, sorry. Go on, Emily.
Okay, so filet of fish didn't work. And at the same time when they were saying red meat was unhealthy, there was a chicken shortage in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
So McDonald's just like, fuck, what are we going to do? So,
the red meat's unhealthy, and then there's a chicken shortage.
Yes.
There's not enough chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
So there were food scientists in the late 60s, early 70s that created what they called restructured meat. And restructured meat was a creation of food scientist Roger Mandigo.
Okay.
And he worked on this for a decade. So he worked on creating this type of meat, restructured meat, for a decade. And so what he did is he found a way to use trimmings, so like skin, heart, stomachs of the animals, normally things that butchers and like meat processing places would throw away. So there was like a meat shortage, right? So he's trying to use these extra parts.
I thought there was just a chicken shortage.
So sorry, I kind of skipped over something. So late 60s, early 70s, there was a meat shortage in general. Okay.
How much meat were these people eating?
Well, I think like mass production of like food was like a newish thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So,
okay.
So anyhow, he created this restructured meat. He would add salt, water, and proteins, which would like bind it all together.
Okay.
Okay. And it is perfectly safe to eat.
Is it though?
Yes. I mean, the stuff that like, the organs that we would typically throw away are still edible. Just not something that we typically in the past would have like eaten as part of a meat dish. So I'm putting it out there. I'm not saying this stuff is unhealthy in any way, shape, or form. I'm saying it's perfectly safe to eat.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
When you said skin and heart and guts, or whatever, I just kind of got a little grossed out.
Sure.
This is why I became a vegetarian for 4 months.
I remember.
And then I quit being vegetarian.
It's hard to be vegetarian.
Yeah. Okay. So it's technically you can eat it. It's edible.
Yes, it's edible.
Okay.
Okay. And like hot dogs, that's restructured meat. Yeah. So we have Roger Mandigo. He's our food scientist.
Okay.
Then we have Chef René Arend.
What?
Chef René Arend.
Okay.
Okay. So he is a French like high class chef.
All right. He's classy.
He was the chef at like a 5-star restaurant in Chicago. He graduated top of his class at his culinary school. So he is like...
So he's pretty bougie.
Yes, he's bougie.
Okay.
So Ray Kroc, who was the founder of McDonald's...
Who I've heard is a douche.
He was a douche. He reaches out to this guy, and he's like, look, we need you to help us create like unique menu items, due to the world changing and the meat shortage, yada, yada,
He reached out to the chef.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can thank René Arend for the McNugget, which is also restructured meat.
Okay.
So he created the McNugget.
Okay, I don't really eat those, but okay.
Oh, I love them.
I know you do. I know you do.
He created the 3 original dipping sauces for the McNugget, which were barbecue sauce, hot mustard sauce, and sweet and sour.
Okay.
And he crafted our McRib.
All right. So he did the McNuggets, the McRib, and the sauces.
Yep.
Okay.
So it would be like so I'll give my sources at the end. I always forget to do that at the beginning. So a big source was Weird History. Do you ever watch those?
I feel like I have seen that before.
It's on YouTube, and it's just really cool, like...
I think I have seen that.
Videos about, like... So I got a lot of this information from Weird History, but they said it would be like Gordon Ramsay working for Taco Bell. Like, that's what it was like.
Wow!
Because this guy was like an all-star, like 5-star chef.
You just pictured Gordon Ramsay going to Taco Bell? This fucking meat's in a fucking tube!
If Gordon Ramsay worked at Taco Bell, I bet we'd still have cheesy fiesta potatoes and the Mexican pizza.
Okay, that was very aggressive.
I'm so mad. Those are my 2 regular orders.
Okay, what are they?
Cheesy fiesta potatoes.
Okay.
And Mexican pizza.
Okay, Jackie's nodding with you that she agrees with you.
Yes. And listeners, my goal in life is to get married at the Taco Bell Cantina in Las Vegas. However, I will not be able to do that if they don't bring these menu items back. Me
Taco
and my
Bell,
non-existent
you got
boyfriend.
about 5 years, maybe 5 to 10 years to bring those back.
Yeah. Who knows?
I think getting married at the cantina is a reachable goal.
That's what
you could
everybody-
easily do that in like next week.
That's what everybody tells me.
But you could just find a guy on Tinder and get married in Vegas.
Maybe I should put that in my bio.
Yes, only date me if you're interested in the Mexican Fiesta pizza at the Taco Bell in Vegas.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyhow, so Rene Arend, our 5-star chef, he shaped the pork patty that became the McRib like a rack of ribs. So the McRib actually, like the patty it's like divided, it looks like a little baby rack of ribs.
But it's not actually.
I mean, it's pork meat.
It's pork meat.
It's not
restructured
ribs.
pork meat?
Yes, it is restructured pork meat. And so the McRib came with a packet of McRib's hot sauce. So it was covered in barbecue sauce, pickles, and onions, and then it came with a little like side of hot sauce. And it made its debut in the U.S. in 1981.
All right.
Okay, so when they tested this, the product tested very well. Like, you know, when like they release a new thing and they like do whatever the hell that's called,
Marketing,
testing,
product, whatever.
So it did very, very well in the Midwest.
That doesn't surprise me because I feel like the Midwest will eat anything.
Yes. I am from the Midwest. Can confirm. I will eat literally anything.
I'm also from the Midwest, but I don't eat anything. But yeah. I feel like most people from the Midwest would eat anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So it did really well in the Midwest, but other regions it didn't do so hot in. So
I wonder why.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like, I feel like it's a very unique sandwich.
Sounds very unhealthy, and I feel like the Midwest would be all about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised the South wasn't though.
Yeah, that's a
Were the South? Were they on it? Did they like it?
I mean, it was like it received very mixed reviews, but they said that it test marketed and then sold the best in Midwest states.
Okay.
So sales are pretty poor. Not a lot of people were digging the McRib. So in 1985, they removed it. So they took it off the menu.
Okay.
People were pissed.
Why? I thought you just said they didn't like it.
They didn't. But those people that do like it really, really like it.
Okay.
So people were really unhappy. So
God, you can't please anybody anymore.
Can't. So McDonald's listens to their people, and they re-released it as the first ever limited run fast food item. So they said, they released it and all the marketing said, McRib is back for a limited time only.
They were toying with people.
So we see that all the time, right? Like the Shamrock Shake's only
limited time,
and like other places do that too.
The s'mores blizzard from Dairy Queen.
Yes.
My beef with Dairy Queen is Hannah and Jackie went to go get me a s'mores blizzard last week and they didn't have it.
Yeah.
So that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't like limited time.
Me either. I want it to be there all the time.
Yeah.
So over the next 5 years, they would do this several times. So they'd release it, limited run, pull it. And it would vary regionally too. So you might be able to get a McRib in South Carolina, but not be able to get one in New York. So they would do this, and it seemed very random. Like there was no rhyme or reason. It wasn't like the same time each year. It would be very like, oh, here's the McRib, surprise, it's back for limited time only.
And would they warn people when they pulled it away?
Yeah, I mean, they'd say limited time only, so they would know it'd only be back for so long.
I know, but like, could you imagine the day you're like, oh, I think I have like one more day left, and you pull into the drive-thru, and then you like...
I would imagine back then they probably didn't. Like now you could like figure out like online.
Yeah.
Which I will actually come back
to
momentarily. So the price of pork is in constant flux.
All right.
So it changes very drastically, apparently. I didn't know
The
this.
price of pork.
The price
that
of
should
pork.
be the name of this episode.
All
right.
McDonald's has said that part of the reason why the McRib's presence on the menu is so inconsistent is because the price of pork is so inconsistent. So it's times when it's not really financially savvy or makes economic sense to have the McRib on the menu if the price of pork is like way up and people aren't really like buying it.
Oh, that makes sense.
So there are a few, probably more than a few, McDonald's conspiracy theorists out there, McRib conspiracy theorists, who believe that instead of like...
Sorry, I'm just picturing if you had a business card and you're like, hi, Kasie Cardigan, McRib conspiracy theorist.
So there are people who say that McDonald's waits until the price of pork is like bottom, like cheap. That's when they'll put their McRib back on the menu. And that's not really like ethical or like fair. Like they're just trying to.
What do you mean that's not ethical?
Well, like in theory, I guess they should wait. They should just pull it when the price of pork goes up, but instead they only put it on the menu when the price of pork is like dirt cheap. So it's like they're playing with the menu based off of these pork prices, which people just don't think is fair. Like they don't do that with the Big Mac. Like no matter what the price of beef is, there's always a Big Mac on the menu.
Yeah, because that's like a McDonald's staple.
Right. Well, some people would argue that the McRib is a McDonald's staple.
I mean, all right, I'm not going to argue with these people. Yeah. I'm not saying that I am against whatever. I don't give a shit about the McRib, but I do understand if it makes financial sense. Like if you know that it's only going to sell maybe in a certain region, why would you spend that much money to put out a product that isn't going to be a financially sound choice?
Sure. I don't disagree.
I sound like very financially smart when I say this, but yet I don't have any money. So, okay. So that's what conspiracy theorists think.
So they're like, McDonald's is actually, and I don't know enough about economics to really know if that truly is ethical or not.
I don't either.
But so from 1985 until 1994.
Okay.
They put it back on. 1994.
They're just toying with people.
Yeah, they're just fucking with everybody.
Yeah.
McDonald's paired with a film. Can you guess what the film was?
In what year?
1994.
Is that Pulp Fiction?
It was the year Pulp Fiction came out, I'm pretty sure, but it's not Pulp Fiction.
Oh! I was like, but then it's so
Boy Out with Cheese, that would make sense.
Okay, not Pulp Fiction. Do I get another guess?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, let me have a hint.
Actors included Rosie O'Donnell and John Goodman.
Is that, wait, on a movie?
Uh-huh.
Rosie O'Donnell and John Goodman. What were they both in? A League of Their Own?
They might have both been in that, but it's not that movie.
Okay, well, just tell me what it is.
The Flintstones.
When did that come out?
1994.
Shut up! Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna guess the Flintstones, but I was like, no, I think that's 96. I remember being old enough to watch it. Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense. Rewind. Okay.
Yeah.
Flintstones. That makes sense because of a rib.
Yes, exactly.
Ah, damn it, Kasie. Jackie, did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Jackie did not know that, guys, if you couldn't hear her in the background.
So summer of 94, McDonald's brought back the McRib nationally.
Ooh, snap!
In conjunction with the theatrical release of the Flintstones. So, in the beginning of the, Flintstones, and they throw that rack of ribs on the car.
Okay, I don't remember. I do know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the movie, scene by scene.
Oh, I'm talking about, in the cartoon.
Oh,
in the intro.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So that's, McRib, rack of ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so mad I didn't think of that still.
So, in the movie, The Flintstones, they have, a McDonald's
drive-through!
Yeah, and it's called Rock Donald's.
Yes, I remember that because then they, pedal their feet through it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so... they had a ton of promotions, McDonald's did, with the Flintstones movie. So Rosie O'Donnell was in one of the commercials for the McRib.
She was a hot ticket.
She was a hot ticket.
I remember my Uncle Jason, I don't know if anyone remembers from an earlier episode, but he was my uncle with special needs. He used to have a Rosie O'Donnell doll that you would press on it and it said quotes from the Rosie O'Donnell show.
I remember that doll.
Yeah. We would listen to it all the time.
That's hilarious.
Okay. So it was a big deal.
They sold commemorative Flintstones glasses, which I'm pretty sure my parents or my grandma had one.
Probably.
And they sold the VHS at McDonald's. Do you remember that? They used to sell VHS.
Yeah, they did. Do you remember those McDonald's movies?
Yeah.
Nobody ever believes me, but they were real. My brother's like, no, I remember them.
So we had about 10 years of peace. So from 1995 to 2000, or 1994 to 2004, the McRib was on the menu nationally for 10 years.
Wait, what?
Yep. So they left it alone for 10
So
years.
the price of pork didn't matter then?
I guess. I don't know, man. Maybe they were just doing so well with other things they didn't
But like the
share.
Flintstone died out though.
Yeah, so the Flintstones was obviously like a short thing, but they just kept the McRib on the menu for 10 years.
Okay.
Okay. So 2005 rolls around. November 1st, 2005.
A day that will live in infamy.
It will. McDonald's issued a press release announcing that the McRib would permanently be taken off the menu and that they would hold a McRib farewell tour.
Stop. What?
Yeah.
What?
So you know, like when rock bands go on like their farewell tours that last like 5 years.
Yeah, I feel like we both have been to concerts together, like the same farewell tour.
This is kind of what that was like. So
These marketing people must have been like, okay, what can we do to simultaneously piss people off
And
but
make
get them
money.
into the store and make
Yep.
money?
So, so McRib farewell tour, which was,
How does that even work?
well, I mean, it's like a farewell tour.
Okay, it's just on the menu for like X amount of
Yeah.
time. Okay.
So they do this, and around the same time, this website pops up. There was a petition to save the McRib.
Okay.
Okay. And it was promoted by, or sponsored by, the Boneless Pig Farmers Association of America, which is obviously fake. There's no boneless pigs.
Okay.
And the IP address was registered to McDonald's.
What?
Yeah. So they created
Drama.
They created this petition to save the McRib that was sponsored by this fake place, Boneless Pig Farmers Association of America, and it was registered to McDonald's. So it was obviously like a marketing ploy, a
To do
publicity
what
stunt.
though? To get people to go buy it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they really believe that, when they limit the availability to something, people are going to come out and buy it. And it must have worked.
Yeah, but what's the point of the petition?
It was just like a PR stunt.
Be like, oh, people are so
Yeah,
against it,
people.
come buy it. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like now that would be on one of those change.org things and you would get 1.5 million petitions.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to shut it down.
Totally
Just saying, if it was in 2020.
So between 2005 and 2008, McDonald's would announce more farewell tours, put the McRib back on the menu temporarily, and then pull it. So they did this between 2005 and 2008.
So it's not really a farewell tour then?
No, but it's kind of like I know last summer I went and saw Kiss with my dad and sister, and it was their farewell tour that had been going on for 3 years. It's kind of
Yeah, but those people could actually die though, and then the band could be
true.
over. They're in full control of the McRib.
Yes. It's
Okay.
just silly.
Go on.
So in 2007, so right in the middle of all of this, McDonald's sold 30 million McRibs. Just in 2007.
How many burgers would they sell?
I don't know. But the sandwiches were made with over 7 million pounds of pork. So in 2007
I can't even
alone,
fathom 7 million pounds of pork.
Me either.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, it's a lot of sandwiches just in 1 year, right? That's the stats I could find.
30
million
million.
sandwiches. So throughout 2008 and 2009.
Wait, sorry, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
Is the McRib only in the United States or is it internationally?
It's now international.
Okay, so 30 million internationally in 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this was 2005, 2008. They did their farewell tours, quote, farewell tours. And then 2008, 2009, they would do, again, a limited time regional offering. So they would do that in U.S. and Canada. So they pull it, do their usual song and dance.
Okay. Which, isn't their thing? It's McRib is back.
Yes.
Okay. I'm did I just make that up?
No, it's definitely a thing. So we jumped to 2010. On November 2nd of 2010, McDonald's made the McRib available nationally for 6 weeks.
Oh, they put a time limit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like, we're only going to have it for 6
They said
weeks?
6 weeks because they were promoting a Legends of the McRib event in New York City.
What?
The Legends of the McRib were 3 men named Joey Irwin, a.k.a. Mr. McRib, Alan Klein, who was the founder of the McRib Locator website. Alan Klein created a website where you can put in your location and it will tell you the nearest McRib to you.
Okay.
Okay.
He probably made so much money on that.
I'm sure he did.
That's annoying.
So, Alan Klein was...
Wait, you said 3 men.
Yeah, so I'm just giving you a backstory.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So Alan Klein was the founder of the McRib Locator website. At one point, he decided to not cut his hair until they started selling McRibs again.
Okay.
So he ended up not cutting his hair for a year. So for about a year, they weren't available in the States. So he just went a year and didn't cut his hair.
Like, why would McDonald's care if you got your hair or not?
He grew up on a hog farm.
Okay.
And just found, like, you know, the McRib was his thing. And then the final guy was Adam.
I get it. We all have our things.
Adam Weiner. And so
That's an unfortunate last name.
Yeah. I tried hard to find more information about Joey Irwin and Adam Weiner, but there's not a whole lot out there about them.
Did one only have a name? You said one, Joey Irwin, was the Mr. McRib.
He was named Mr. McRib.
But none of the other ones didn't have funny nicknames?
No. So, like, here are, and we can post these on our Instagram, but...
She's showing me pictures right now,
So
friends.
this to the left, this is Joey Irwin.
Mr. McRib.
Yeah, and then this is Alan Klein, the guy who created the McRib Locator and didn't cut his hair for a year.
Okay.
So this is them hanging out at the Legends of
The
McRib.
launch party! That reminds me of The Office when they put it as a lunch party.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it looks like they're just like hanging out eating
With a giant McRib.
There's balloons with the McRib on it. And I'm gonna read like an excerpt from Joey's. So on the McRib Locator, the website, he also has, and this is Alan Klein. He's got like a blog, so he'll like blog about the McRib. So this is what he said about the Legends of the McRib event. This McDonald's had a nice looking marquee out front, but just as amazing was the fact that this McDonald's has 3 stories of seating.
Wow!
That is amazing.
That's a lot of seating.
The event was held on the 2nd floor and half of the 3rd floor. Media sources have been provided access to the event, and throughout the evening, we 3 legends fielded various interviews regarding our McRib backgrounds. The event was hosted by Leo and John from thechive.com, which
The chive was a thing back then?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was.
Yeah.
I remember Beth Gavin was really into it.
Yeah. So Joey McRib Irwin was identified as he seeks out the McRib every day that it is available in his hometown. So every day that...
Joey Irwin.
Yeah. Every day that they have the McRib available in his hometown, he goes out and he gets himself one. And then Adam Weiner was identified for the lengths from which he would travel for a McRib. The previous year, Adam had flown from New York to Chicago on a quest to find the McRib. He traveled by car from Chicago to St. Louis as part of his quest.
Is there any food that you love that much that you would go after? I don't think there's anything I love that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do that for like a concert.
Oh, absolutely.
And we flew to see Gillian Anderson in New York City.
We certainly did.
But that was also to see New York too. That was like but anyway.
Yeah. So basically where we are now is it's still the same song and dance.
So just
pull it, put it on the menu, pull it, put it on the menu. So the McRib Locator website, if you look at their blog, the last entry was from 2019, and people are just like, he's telling them, I think it was in like December, like we're running out of McRibs nationwide. Like if you need one, you need to go like use our locator and like find out where the nearest McRib is.
Wait, how does he know they're running out?
Because
he has an in with
yeah,
McDonald's.
I guess so. Yeah. But also like fans will get on here and be like, hey, I tried to get a McRib in Michigan and there's none left. So people would like report like, hey, like
there's none left in the entire state of Michigan.
I don't think McDonald's ever says, except the Legends of the McRib event where they said it was only 6 weeks, but I don't think they ever say like.
They just say limited time.
Yeah. So
I wonder how they decide when to pull it.
I don't know.
They're like, people are too happy now. Let's fuck them up.
Yeah. So, in November 2011, which was a year after the Legends of the McRib event, the Humane Society of the United States filed a complaint with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission against the producer of the McRib meat, which was Smithfield Foods.
Okay.
Alleging cruel and unusual treatment of the animals used in McRib production. So there's these things called gestation crates. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
It's really sad. So just gestation crates are basically crates that the hogs or pigs would live in. That they didn't have any room to like move.
Oh.
So, they sued the producers of the meat, where McDonald's was like buying the meat. And in 2012, McDonald began to refuse to buy pigs from pork farmers or meat industries, factories that use those cages. So, yeah, there's lots of speculation, like we talked about earlier, on the fluctuating price, an unreliable supply of the McRib. But ultimately, it seems like McDonald's says that the limited availability is because they want to provide a varied menu throughout the year. But to my knowledge, they don't pull things and put things back on the menu. There's like the holiday pies. They do that.
Okay, I don't eat those, so I don't really care about that.
And then the Shamrock Shake. But other than that, I don't really feel like... But those are seasonal things. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you're not going to eat a holiday pie in like
June.
And a Shamrock Shake is fucking leprechauns. So obviously that's going to be...
I order the same thing literally every time I go to McDonald's, so I don't know.
It's just a marketing scheme. Think about it. They probably make so much more money in a limited time with the McRib than if they would have kept the McRib on the menu full time.
Right. Yeah, well, it's definitely it's like when we talked about with Tipper Gore, like that forbidden fruit. Like if you tell somebody like, oh, this is only going to... Well, it's like what Kylie Jenner does.
What does Kylie Jenner do?
Makeup. Like... her lip kits, when she first came out, she'd only produce like a small amount, and they'd sell it like that, and then it would look like, oh, it's so popular, she really only made a small amount, so that's why they sold out so quick.
That kind of, I'm not gonna say that's shady because it's not real. I mean, I guess it's business, but the McRib is kind of shady.
It's kind of shady. But yeah, so on the McRib locator, I put in my address to see if I could find one.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping to eat one while I recorded this episode.
And they don't have one?
They don't. It says, hold on.
So they don't have any right now, or they just don't have it in the Midwest?
So here's where they have them. According to the McRib
locator.
And there's a disclaimer. It says, always call ahead to make sure the McRib is available.
Fair.
So there's one allegedly in Vegas, Elm Grove, California.
Elm Grove, California.
Spain.
Spain?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it says Hamburglar, Germany, which I think is a joke because of the Hamburglar.
No, does it say Hamburglar?
Yes. It doesn't say Hamburg.
There's Hamburg.
It says Hamburglar, Germany. For our fans in Las Vegas, California, and Spain, they're not confirmed by the McRib locator website. So if you do have a hankering for a McRib, please call your local McDonald's ahead of time.
I'm looking up the McRib
make sure.
locator.
And some 16-year-old will answer the phone and say, I don't know.
Okay. They have on this website, guys, there's literally a thing that says most recent sighting. Like it's like a sighting. Gary Fisher, if you're out there listening, he found the most recent McRib. Report a McRib. That's like reporting a crime.
So you get to report that you found one.
That is crazy. It doesn't even look like a tasty sandwich.
You wouldn't like it.
I don't know.
So when I order a hamburger, I always get it without pickles and onions. That's like the only
what's on
ingredient.
that sandwich? As I'm looking at it, it's literally just
pickles, onions, barbecue sauce.
restructured meat.
Yeah.
I don't like that phrase, but
I love restructured meat.
I know I don't like the phrase.
I mean, I think it's economical. They're not throwing away all the animals.
No. I understand that. Just restructured sounds like, I don't know.
I mean, it's basically like a Frankenstein meat.
That's literally what it sounds like. It's Frankenstein.
So let me quote my sources. So
Yeah. Get your
Weird
sources,
History,
girl.
great YouTube channel. They got the best stuff. I also watched them for our PMRC episode. Wikipedia, of course.
Wiki.
And McRib Locator.
Dot.
Those are my 3 sources. Very scholarly.
I will say that I never expected in my life that I would know this much about the McRib.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that I do.
I'm glad.
Because I do see all those commercials back when, like, before you could fast forward through commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like whatever. It'd be like, the McRib is back. And everyone's like running. And why do I feel like there was a commercial with Betty White in it?
There might have been.
But maybe I'm making that up. But I feel like the McRib is back was so big. And I'm like, why is that such a big deal?
Yeah. It's an interesting little story.
All right. If you guys like the McRib, comment on our Dark Files podcast post. Emily's going to post some pictures.
Yeah. Show you the McRib legends.
I want to have a convention of like a legends of the McRib. I want to invite them here to the podcast. You are big Frisch's.
If Frisch's went out in this area, I would definitely travel to get a big boy.
What's on a big boy? Wait, is Frisch's only the Midwest?
So Frisch's is a franchise, and the larger restaurant is Big Boy. So Frisch's Big Boy is like a more local franchise. Local, but I feel like it's pretty widespread.
So, okay, you would go get a Big Boy.
Absolutely.
Like, how far would you travel?
I travel as far as it took.
Big Boy!
So on Saturday morning...
as far as it took.
The best thing about Frisch's is that you can order a Big Boy all day long. So it's 7 a.m. on Saturday morning.
I don't really know what a Big Boy is.
Oh my God, Casey. It's got tartar sauce,
Ew.
cheese, lettuce.
That's it? What's the meat?
Hamburger.
Tartar sauce? What did you just say?
Tartar sauce, cheese, lettuce, ham.
That's what you would travel.
Yes. The Big Boy is my very favorite thing in the world.
Tartar sauce?
Yes.
Meat.
So for my
lettuce.
my birthday's this weekend, you can send cash and/or credit. But initially my parents were gonna make me a Big Boy pizza, which is a pizza crust, tartar sauce, ground beef, cheese, lettuce. But they were like, why don't we just go to Frisch's?
I think you should do that.
Okay,
so is that all about the Big Boy?
Yeah.
I mean, not the Big Boy, the McRib.
I could do an episode on the Big Boy.
I think that was plenty. I think that's good.
So yes, that is the dark file on the McRib.
I think that's very interesting, Emily.
Yeah,
Good,
I do too.
Good story. Okay, guys. Well, that is our episode today. Thanks to Jackie for making an appearance as she made her spaghetti. If you have any suggestions for us, you can email us at thedarkfilespodcast@gmail.com.
And you can find us on Instagram at The Dark Files Podcast or on Twitter at darkfilespod.
All right, Emily. So in your case of the McRib, what shall we say?
Case
closed.